My name is Neha Dagley, and I am with the law firm of Salazar Jackson, senior counsel of their and co-chair of the litigation group, as well as chair of the India practice group. My grandfather, on my father's side, he had a law degree in India, but he was never able to be a practicing attorney, being that at the time it didn't really generate a lot of income in the area that he was in, and he had 7 children to care for. So he sort of inspired me to get a law degree and push myself into this area, because I wanted to sort of complete the dream that he was never really able to fulfill for himself. And it was not just me, it was also my older cousin. She did the same thing. He inspired us both to be successful and good lawyers. She's actually a practicing lawyer in Mumbai right now. I've been with Salazar Jackson since last year. Prior to that, I worked for a small firm in Fort Lauderdale. It was my first job out of law school, and I stayed there for 9 years. The individual's name is Mark Schechter, and the name of the firm was Schechter Law. Mark was an amazing mentor to me. He really took me under his wing and showed me the ropes of how to be a good and effective litigator. The types of cases that we handled were very unique and usually fell under the umbrella of complex commercial litigation, civil litigation, business torts, real estate litigation. We handled a wide variety of disputes for more than 9 years. We had a great run, and I believe Mark is still doing some real estate work, but he did wind down his litigation practice last year in January, and that's how I found Salazar Jackson, and I'm really happy to be here. It has presented me with a number of opportunities. I did mention the India practice group to you. This is something that I was able to develop when I joined Salazar Jackson. I've always wanted to focus on my ties with India and try to bring that aspect of my life and my personality into my practice. And what Salazar Jackson did was it gave me the platform, the resources, the opportunity. And Luis Salazar motivated me to launch the India practice group to capture Indian clients who want to do business, Indian or other clients who want to do business outbound to India or inbound into the United States of America, and specifically South Florida. So right now I have 2 major litigation matters where I represent Indian companies who are manufacturers of garments, and they exported about $8 million worth of merchandise, and I'm talking combined between the 2 cases. Approximately $8 million in merchandise to South Florida retailers, and they were not paid, and those 2 cases are pending presently in the Circuit Civil Court of the 11th Judicial District. I do travel back and forth, but since I launched the India Practice Group last year, the initiative to go back and set up those meetings, set up those appointments is going to happen next year. But I do tend to go to India every 2 to 3 years because I do have a lot of ties in Mumbai. My entire family, except for my parents, they all live there. So aunts, uncles, grandparents, nephews, nieces, and I do happen to, it's not really a partnership, but it's sort of a relationship where I feed business back and forth to my cousin's law firm located in Mumbai. They've been, I think it's a 3rd generation law firm called Solomon and Company. And they represent clients in Europe, in Asia, as well as the United States of America. And they're able to refer matters to me, whether it's on the transactional side or on the litigation side. And in fact, I have been approached recently by Miami investors who are interested in doing business in India. As you know, trade is growing under the new government in India, and that's a really big deal. The Indian economy is up and coming, and people want to get on that train. So I have been contacted by several investors here. To have that, that relationship going back and forth, it's only going to end up growing the India practice group that I've been able to start with this firm. I think South Florida has always been a great real estate hub, and I think the economy is turning around. Real estate is becoming more and more attractive. As you know, there are a lot of developments happening here, and I think that if the Indian investors can see that, and if they have someone, a go-to firm or a go-to consultant in South Florida who can advise them on these issues, there is a lot of wealth coming out of India right now. And I believe the numbers, I found them almost staggering. The number of billionaires alone in India right now, I think it's at around 60, which is incredible for a growing economy and an emerging market. So there's a lot of wealth, not just on the billionaire side, but more and more Indian investors are looking to outside markets to invest their wealth. And one of the things I would love to do, and I'm plan on doing, is next year I'm going to India. I'm going to be going to Mumbai, to Gujarat, and possibly the capital, Delhi, and set up meetings with several of these individuals and show them that not only the United States is an attractive market, but specifically South Florida.
Yeah.
And hopefully I'd like to reach out to somebody at the Florida Chamber as well to see how we can build on that, because I know they're constantly interested. And let me just tie in Port Miami as well, with the dredging of the canal and the port and the expansion of the Panama Canal. That alone is going to increase container cargoes.
Yeah.
And that's going to have a tremendous impact on not just Indian investment, but I think South Asian investment coming through this area. India is a beautiful country, and even though at times it can seem frustrating to an outsider, perhaps, most individuals that I've spoken with who have gone to India, who have done business in India, I'm speaking of non-Indian or non-South Asian individuals, you know, they've absolutely, at first they find it a little bit daunting and overwhelming, but after that I've heard nothing but great things about the Indian people, the Indian work ethic, the Indian dedication. It's just an amazing, amazing place to do work, to build a business. It's growing right now, and I'm so excited with the new government and the new trade policies that they're coming up with. And I will just tie this in as well. President Obama is actually a great, he's been setting a great example for the rest of the world and for the United States. In fact, he visited India earlier this year in January for India's Republic Day Parade, and that was it just put a smile on my face when I saw that. And I'm sure you're aware of this as well, is he has also been celebrating a festival called Diwali in the White House for several years now. And Diwali is the festival of lights, and it's basically, it signifies the triumph of light over darkness. And it's widely celebrated in India. It's equivalent to our New Year. And President Obama has made it a point to introduce that into the White House.